Right, there we go. Oh, fucking Cuddlesworth. Perfect thing. Perfect placing. Perfect placing. He's right by the clock. Just where we want him. Haven't really finished about narcissists. I keep getting kind of like dragged up into the more detailed shit of it. I was trying more just to like use examples of the kinds of things that she was doing, but declaring you as doing something or being something when all you did was say something, that's one of their favourites. That's one of their favourites. You're just doing this, you're being that, or it's because of. That is because they think a lot like me, they have rigid paradigms of understanding. And I thought that would be quite interesting to talk about as alongside schizotypy, schizotypicality, schizotypicalness. Because it's the same fucking thing, in a sense. In a sense, it's just that we're nice and they're not. But, you know, they're in little clusters of three or whatever, and narcissistic PD is right next to schizotypal PD. So those, you know, the things that I understand as weird and whatever, it's like, you know, that things that have definitely happened as a result of something. It's to do with like somebody does something that they think is neglectful. So what they'll interpret that as they've done that to me. They've made me suffer. By choosing to do something completely unrelated, they will understand it as a personal insult or a personal attack. Same kind of thing as when someone says they were only trying to help. With the old mental health argument of someone only trying to help. That is their understanding of the picture. That is a general understanding of what they're trying to do. I'm not talking about the specifics. They're not talking about that they've just said this or done that. They're talking about it in general. I'm only trying to help. Humans do that, but narcissists warp it. That's why they're good at it, because they're just doing the same sort of things that humans do. But basically, they have to invent a false reality that they can control. They're complete control freaks like me. Because, you know, a viewer message on here. He said, I think you have a very healthy narcissism, and I really like took the compliment well. Like, it's not a difficult, it's not the worst N word to be called, but it's a pretty bad N word to be thought of as, isn't it? But you know, I made the comparison with him. I think it was a guy. That I've called it insightful narcissism. The insightful narcissist. It sounds like the name of a pub. But you know, it's the need for validation, the need to be correct. It comes across as like you've always got to be right. It's like, yeah, but that's because they're crippled with a fear of getting anything wrong. Because if they're wrong, it means they're not in control. And that's why they determinedly shout and stick to their truths. And that's why the very first truth that they thought of, no matter what you say and no matter what they say, that will stay there, ready to be jumped back on at a second's notice with a, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. They will never let it go. This is why you don't need to be around them. This is why they don't just need love. They need to fucking do what we do and sit and take a fucking look at themselves. They don't need anyone else, remember? They don't need anyone else. Because narcissists do have a way of seeming to have a good like tribe of followers that give them loads of love. Or when you talk about being narcissistically treated, that's all anyone wants to talk about is what they went through. Which, by the way, if you're going through that, you need to say is interrupt them and say, excuse me, sorry, why the fuck is their therapy anything to do with me? Why they did what they did is their shit. Just the same as what you're telling me, what's going on for me is my shit. I need to sort it out. So if my therapy is my business, why the fuck are you trying to make their therapy my business? And I guarantee you they won't be able to answer you. They'll still do exactly the same thing the very next time with somebody else. But that's what you say. That's what you fucking say when people try and put that shit on you. So don't make their therapy my fucking responsibility, my fucking problem. Why they did it is their shit, and that's what they need to go and reconcile with themselves. Which is why I don't have any fucking time for narcissists. You know, like a lot of people say, they'll have time for a lot of people except paedophiles, and like I kind of agree with that one as well, really. But narcissists, they're like the adult version of the same thing. It's a form of sexual abuse. What they do is they fuck people up sexually. So how is it not sexual abuse then? Because it does fuck people up sexually. It fucks up their whole fucking sense of worth. And that's the point. That is one of the points I've been trying to get in. Is anyone could say, look, they're only words. They're written on a screen. Da, 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 da. Because again, what people do is they describe objectively the scene. And there's no emotional involvement. There's no experience. There's no lived experience. They're just describing what's happening. But, you know, when you've had those crippling senses of self-worth, and they've been beaten into you, and that's how you lived for a long time, that wiring is still there. And when that stuff gets flared up, you can't function properly, and you don't think a lot of yourself, even though you're not fully aware of it on the fucking surface. That's why this shit is fucking dangerous. That's why narcissists are fucking vile little shits. I think I'm going to block her soon. I've noticed she's commented on my other post, and she'd actually even written, think this bloke blocked me on my main. I've missed fucking content like this. And I didn't really understand it at the time because there was a lot of messages. It was the same twat. And so that means if I block her main profile, she won't see me on the boring group. And I think I'll just do that after I've made this video. I want nothing more to do with her. Because she's a fucking little bully. I don't know how she's still on there, talking about me on my profile to her mate. She tagged her mate about it. Have a look at this. And, you know, that's something I've commented on before, is that's a bit of a cultural thing with the internet. Look, point, laugh, make a nasty fucking comment, take the piss. That's how you sound, a lot of you. On to the next one. Move on to the next one. That's why when shit happens in front of people, they fucking go up and they get the phone out to film it. They're literally not involved. This is what the controllers have been trying to do to you. They've been trying to get you to just exist as if the whole world's a fucking TV screen. And that, you know, it's coming across. People are doing shit like that. When people are pointing and laughing at me, they're doing it in full view of me. They must fucking know. Part of me is saying they must fucking know they're doing it. They're just pretending or whatever. But, you know, again, that's why I was sensitive, because I'd had quite a few days of pointing and laughing and shit like that, which you're supposed to just ignore. But you fucking try it, mate. Have the experiences I've had. Respond to it the way I respond to it. Have that shit hanging over you for the next few hours, whether you like it or fucking not. And then tell me it's nothing. And tell me they're just words. Yeah. But, you know, there's an element of understanding, and I think that's why I can understand her. Because obviously what was going through my head is, you know, we see ourselves in others, and I'm looking at what she can see in me, and it's like, you know, you can point that mirror straight back at me and say blah-de-blah-de-blah. But apart from the fact that she was the one that approached me, and I've got no interest in her. I've got no fucking interest in her. I think that's why I've been so effective and not been drawn into it. Because if I'd had an interest in her, a lot of this stuff would have worked. Do you know what I mean? Like this whole thing, the whole woman thing, it's like, what's this fucking sexy? It's sexy because I'm fucking sexually liberated. She's then interpreting that, something that I am just naturally. I often talk about, like, I often make links to sex, like I'm dressing like a whore, all that, and I'm at peace with that. But she was sensing something, and she was trying to go for it, because she was taking that little bit of you know, flirtatiousness that I was having and making it pervy. She was trying to create a reality. That's what schizotypes do. You need to create a reality, and then you're in control of it. It's just narcissists create them for other people. That's the fundamental fucking difference. I create myself. You don't know what they are. Schizotypes are magical people. Schizotypes are funny people and creative people. And narcissists is like very similar. They've got similar reasons why they were put in environments where they couldn't work out what the truth of a situation ever was. They were always in the wrong when they thought they weren't, and they were unsettled. But they knew all about it. The difference with them and psychopaths literally don't ever register. Other people's feelings don't register. Narcissists can choose to do that, although they think they can. They're very, very fucked up. But it's a fucking choice. It is a fucking choice. They could choose to do something about it, and they never do. They would be the easiest ones to cure. They would be cured with a lot of the fucking psychobabble shit. I mean, not psychobabble shit. I mean, standard fucking take a bit of responsibility for your fucking actions. That sort of shit. The standard stuff that loads of people do. That could fucking cure narcissists. It really fucking could. But what can't cure them, the reason it's a personality disorder is the fact that they're seen to not have that perception. But they put that on. It is opted psychopathy with narcissists. Well, that's my fucking view anyway. What would I know? A lot. I've been around a lot of them. I'm like the blade of narcissists. I am. I'm a half-assist. Not even funny. Not even funny. But yeah, I think this has been quite interesting. I hope this is an interesting enough video. It's got enough shit in it. But watch out for them, because they literally will kill your fucking mind. If you find yourself confused, if you find yourself writing loads of messages, like with that one where she put making white boys write paragraphs, which I still don't really understand. But I'd actually told her that, I'd made a lot of points. I'd totally blown her point about the boring group out of the water. But I'd also said to her, and by the way, if you would like to claim that you know definitely all about this dirty little secret of mine, don't then try and make a point by saying, dude, I have no idea what gets you off, because you look a bit of a hypocrite, or at least someone who doesn't even know what their own fucking opinion is. Right? So she'd completely and utterly shot herself in the foot. Didn't answer that one. That's what they do. You write a load of things. Go, that's wrong because of this. That's wrong. If you find yourself doing that, you're probably in the grip of a fucking narcissist. Because you're thinking, oh my God, how can they say that when they did that? And everything, it blows everything up. That's my final point I wanted to get in. That didn't happen, but it did happen with me. But the thing is with that whole chaotic storm, they know how to do that. They know how to confuse the shit out of you. They learn. They do. I think they do it not subconsciously. They do it intuitively. They do it intuitively. It's not subconscious. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But for me, when that stuff comes up like that, there is a huge schema attached to it of why do I always fall for it? Yeah? You don't. You don't. It's kind of that, it's like that abuse cycle thing, but, reactions shout the loudest, like I'm saying. They gauge your reactions and they run with those. They know how to do this shit. All they're doing is opening up old wounds that have been there for ages, and like whenever your brain makes a change, it lays down a load of new wiring. Just look at it this way. The old wiring's still there. It doesn't remove it. It switches it off. It can be switched back on again. So it's not your fault when you get dragged into that sort of shit, because I could feel it all happening to me, but I just went with it, because the reason I went with it was to say to my own subconscious, I'm seeing things correctly. I'm seeing through the shit. I'm not letting her, I'm not giving her any rope. I'm closing down all of her subject. It was important to me to do that, because that was me disproving a lot of the old wiring that was still there, if that makes sense. So don't be scared to take them on either, because they are nothing. They are the twattiest little tantrums ever. Once you learn how to deal with narcissists, you sit there, and one of the biggest things is you go, how the fuck did I ever fall for the kind of fucking pious, childish, sardonic pish that comes out of their stupid, manipulative little minds? I'm a dickhead. You're not. You're not. They just knew how to control your human mind with basically hypnosis. Think of it that way. You were just hypnotized. Anyway, it's time I shut my fucking hole, and I hope you're all lovely and everything like that. And thank you for watching.